Welcome to Production Pioneers, the podcast where we explore the cutting edge technologies and visionary leadership transforming how we make, grow, and create. I'm Kevin Durkin, CEO of Quant-Tek. Today's guest is Bubin, owner of Rocco Manufacturing, a fascinating dual business story out of Newington, Connecticut. On one side, Roman runs a precision CNC machining shop that's ISO 9001, 2015, AS 9100 certified, serving aerospace, defense, advanced manufacturing sectors with everything from rapid prototyping to production runs. But here's where it gets interesting. Roman's also built his own ERP system called Easy Shop Flow out of necessity. And now he's selling it to other machine shops across the U.S. and Australia. Founded in 2020 as a one-man shop with a single CNC milling unit, Rocco is now doubled facility size, acquired 5-axis equipment, and is navigating the real challenges facing manufacturing in 25. Roman, welcome to the Production Pioneers. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing great.
For listeners who might not be familiar with Rocco Manufacturing, can you tell us about your company, both the CNC side and how you ended up with the ERP solution?
Yeah, of course. So we specialize in aerospace and we're a job shop. So pretty much we machine parts from blueprint. We do not engineer any of our own components. We only machine from a drawing. And we do 5-axis CNC. We also just acquired a mill turn machine with live tools and a Y-axis. So we're pretty diversified in machining.
So in 2020, what was the catalyst for you to say, I need to start a company? What were those early days like?
The early days were pretty difficult. I mean, getting customers when you don't know anything, you don't know anybody. I've worked for 2 different companies, aerospace companies. I was always had an entrepreneur mind, I would say. As soon as I learned the programming side of CNCs, after learning the technical side of running the machines and making sure that the parts came out perfect, I decided to open my own shop. In 2020, I mean, a lot of people told me it's a bad time, but for me, it's never about what's going on in the world. It's just what I want to do.
You had to do it, right? Well, you're 9001 to 2000, and you're AS 9100 certified, which tells me you're doing some serious aerospace and defense work. What types of parts are you machining, and what capabilities set Rocco Manufacturing apart from other shops?
Well, we're a tiny shop. We're not even a small shop, I would say. There's 3 of us here, and we do some pretty precise components for big companies as end users. Sikorsky, Pratt Whitney, Blue Origin. There's a lot of big name companies. We don't directly serve these customers, but we do a lot of work for them as end users, them being end users. And given that we're AS 9100, I think that says a lot about us being such a tiny shop. Those people that are in this industry understand how difficult it is to obtain AS 9100 certification, and they understand how difficult and much more difficult to keep it going and maintaining the entire system. So I think the AS 9100 and 5-axis capability is, and mill turn at this point is one of the biggest differences that we have.
Yeah. Do you sub with other CNC shops? Do they forward you business? Do you partner with them? Is that what you're saying? Or
Yes. So other CNC machine shops, bigger shops, I mean, shops that are more, that do work directly for these big OEMs. If their shop is overwhelmed, if they have too much work on the shop, they will sub out to us. They would send us parts for quote. We would quote them and make the part to print and deliver it to them, and then after that, they take care of everything else.
let's talk about Easy Shop Flow. How'd that come about? You built your own ERP system because of existing solutions were too expensive? Is that what too complicated?
Right. Yes. That's what it came to actually. So when in 2020, when I started my own shop, like I knew right off the bat that even though at that point I probably didn't need an ERP system, I knew that I will need one at some point, just because there's many files, many different jobs that you have to track. I had in mind that I was going to have to become AS 9100 certified, and it was just a necessity. but unfortunately, all of the existing solutions are pretty expensive, and it just it just didn't make sense. And since I had background in software engineering, I just decided to build my own system. And I've built it around a small shop, so I currently sold about 10 copies, and everybody's very happy with it. All small shops, probably 5, 6 people maybe total, but it's built around the same shop. So I know what we need. So it's gonna it's helpful.
So explain to me, what problems does it solve for them?
So
Documentation, design, I mean, what's the
yeah, it would be more documentation, scheduling, keeping everything organized, being able to access any information going backwards, keeping your travelers. So if you're AS9100 certified, one of the requirements is having travelers. You must have a certain paperwork going with every job. It should follow that traveler must follow each job on the job floor, and it helps a lot with maintaining your documentation. And also it helps you track your jobs. It helps you track your profitability. It helps you track the differences between, like, it helps you learn how to code jobs, because one of the most difficult problems is probably coding difficult tasks. And the way it's set up, you can set up iPads for your machines, or you can set up different computers on the machines, and then you have the ability to track all of your jobs and everything, how you're doing. And then you have all the data available, graphs, and then there's an accounting module there also, so you can have everything in one place, basically.
So in my research, I saw that you have other machine shops, I think 8 that are using them in the US and Australia. How did it go from "this is working great for us" to "hey, let's get this product into other shops' hands"?
Honestly, I was developing it, and then at a point, it's been probably 3 4 years, well, almost 4 years since I started developing it, and I didn't want to start marketing it until it was actually something that I thought could be used by others. And I was always a person that wanted to help out others, right? So I saw that my software is doing like a great job for my shop, and I thought, just why not? I mean, so many I charge a very small premium for the software, and everybody who's looked for an RFP knows that. And I'm this just my way of trying to give back to the manufacturing community, I would say.
Nice. Let's talk about what's keeping you up at night in 2025. Tariffs have been a brutal for manufacturers, steel, aluminum hitting 50% baseline. Imports from China, anything that's affecting your CNC business specifically, and how's that? What other headwinds are you running up against?
Honestly, nothing crazy going on. I mean, yes, the tariffs, that is a big problem in my opinion. Just because, for example, I just had to no code a couple of parts, because the only country that has the material that needs to be used for producing that part is in China, and I just don't want to deal with all those tariffs. I don't need the extra headache, so I had to no code the parts. I had to buy some parts from Canada, and the tariffs were, I mean, I believe we paid $350 for a piece of equipment that was in Canada, and by the time it got here, we had to pay an extra 450 in tariffs. So yeah, that's a big.
Wow. Yeah. Are you seeing customers accelerating orders to lock in current prices? Or are they
Yes.
hitting pause because they just want to wait and see?
No, I think with the current situation in the world, a lot of in the aerospace industry, especially, business is definitely ramping up. A lot of manufacturers are ordering parts, and just keep placing purchase orders. We see a rise in our workflow since 2024 compared to 2024.
So a little bit of a shift here off of tariffs, but the labor situation in manufacturing is brutal. There's data showing 1.9 million jobs will go unfulfilled by 2033. 70% of the machinists of the workforce is over 45. What's your experience been in finding, training, and keeping skilled CNC machinists?
That is definitely definitely a big issue. I do not. It's very difficult to find, especially good programmers, programming CNCs, engineers. It's even difficult to find anybody who can actually run a machine. I think the problem is really in education and not anything other than education, because it almost seems like there's not enough, not enough schools or something for that. I mean, I can't really elaborate on that just because I don't know, but it's definitely a problem finding help, skilled help. It's one thing finding somebody who will just push a green button on the CNC, but it's a completely different story to actually find somebody who wants to learn. I'm not sure why that would be, but
Actually, that's one of my questions was, are we seeing younger people interested in CNC machining, struggling with Gen Z, getting them excited about manufacturing? That's tough, isn't it?
yes, yes. Unfortunately, like there is interest among the young people in this industry, but I think that a lot of them have a wrong view on how this works. They think that it's just a simple job that you can come in and press a green button and just sit down and watch the machine run, and it's not as simple as that.
You've got to know a little bit more about engineering and
Oh
machining,
yes,
and
yes. You,
you
I
know,
mean, at the very least, you have to have the drive to learn. If you want to learn, there are people that will teach you. Me personally, I've taught many people over the years. It took me about 2 years to learn machining pretty well. I believe I kind of learned faster than most, but I've taught many people in my previous workplaces. I've taught people who came here with to my shop as a part-time workers, and then in half a year they would leave and go to bigger companies and have a much brighter future with those companies, which I was okay with, just because I would hire these guys part-time. I would teach them everything I can, and I told them right away. And as a small shop, I can't give you the premium that others can, but I can give you the knowledge that others aren't willing to do. And I've had success and I've had failure. It all depends on the person.
yeah. Uh, from a sales side of things, on CNC machining, sales have slid for many people. How are you finding customers and leaning into industry? Like, are you leaning into industry like associations like CTMA and NTMA trade shows? Do you do direct outreach, referrals, existing clients? What's your mode of getting customers?
So for us being such a small shop, being three people, we do have 8 machines. We have about 20 active customers, and everything. Most of it was either social media or it was word of mouth. People. But our current customer, everybody who comes to us, they stay because we have outstanding communication. We tell people how we do things. We always do our best to deliver on time, and our on time delivery rate is at 98%. We do what it takes. We will actually be there, and if there's any issues with the parts, for example, even some engineers, they had us make tooling, and I saw that most likely the print has an issue. I will reach out. I would reach out to the engineer and say, "Hey, are you actually looking to make it this way, or did you mean to do it, in a different way?" And this way, I've catched many different problems with engineering before actually starting our process, and then making a bad part that the customer would probably end up paying twice for. So I work with people, and that's why everybody who's ever came to us and ever found us in, either by word of mouth or over the internet or any other way, they've always stayed. So I don't have a problem with searching for customers.
So, what's the sales cycle like for a CNC shop like you? Are you quoting jobs daily, weekly? How's that decision making timeline change with all this economic stuff, too?
You have to be very quick in quoting. So a lot of buyers are sending out quotes to many different shops, and a lot of them need the parts now. Or if they don't need the parts now, they need the quotes now. They need the quotes tomorrow. So if you don't quote daily as you receive the quotes, you will be losing out on a lot of.
Is the easy flow helped with that?
Yes, for sure. I've built a very great quoting system that that allows you to just ballpark a price. It has all the templates. So let's say if you have other processes, such as, for example, anodizing, right? It has all of that. You can create your own process templates, and then if you have different processes or anything else, it will automatically input those prices for you. So the only thing you need to input when quoting is your estimated time. So if you see print and you believe that, okay, I think this part will take me an hour, you just say that it's gonna, you just input 60 minutes, and the software does all the calculations for you, and it inputs margins and everything else automatically. You know, it reduces the time for quotes by a lot. I mean, I can't really give you a metric, but it helps a lot. It's helped me.
Cut your time in half. Is it cut your time in a quarter?
Oh, and half easy because once you put all these processes and once you develop the entire process that you have of like anodizing, grinding, this or that, you don't have to, like, these prices usually are the same. For example, anodizing are lot charges. Unless you have like 100 parts that you need anodized, then yes, you would have to go back and forth and see what the price would be. Then you don't have to think, like, let's say your material price is $1,000 and margin 10%, for example. You don't have to think and like add in a calculator how much that is. You just input 1,000 and then it adds all that for you. If you need to go back and revise that quote, you go back and you just change the numbers up, and that's it. And then it gives you a nice template that you can send to your customer, and includes the taxes if need be, and it includes everything for you. So it's definitely 50% easy.
Speaking of easy flow, it said on LinkedIn, I think you're looking for sales partners for the. So, what's your go to market strategy for selling the software? Are you primarily going to be a shop owner or not a software company, or do you want to?
Easy Shop Flow is just the separate company. I'm not, depends how it goes, right? But I'm not focusing on it. I'm focusing on my shop, and I love what I do. I love manufacturing. I love machining. I love programming the machines, and the software is more of a hobby for now. I don't know where it takes me in the future, but for now, it's more.
All right, let's talk about some buzzwords everybody loves. AI. What's the reality at Rocco with Easy Shop Floor? Are you actually using AI, planning to integrate it, or is it still mostly hype in the small shop manufacturing?
No AI use within our shop. We don't use AI whatsoever for anything. Actually, I'm sorry. We do use AI. Sorry. We The only thing I do use AI is if I see a material that I'm not familiar with. It's much easier to ask ChatGPT, for example, right, what the properties of that material are, and then try and compare it. And it's actually been pretty precise on machinability. So I've had good success with materials that I'm not familiar with, comparing them to materials that I am familiar with. So that helped me with quoting. AI does help me a lot with Easy Shop Flow, and if it wasn't for AI, Easy Shop Flow would probably never, at least not at this time, wouldn't appear on the market.
Can you explain that? What do you mean?
So AI helps in coding also, right? I do use
Oh
a
yeah.
lot. Yes, I do use a lot of AI in coding. And for example, a job that used to take me 10 hours to code something, with AI, it takes me 2 hours.
Are you using?
AI is definitely something big in every
Yeah.
industry.
All right. With your 5-axis simultaneous machining capabilities, are you using any AI assisted CAM software or optimization tools? Or is it still primarily human expertise driving program?
Yes. From my knowledge, from what I saw on the internet, there are AI softwares that do that, but from what I understand, they primarily focus on 3 axis for now. So AI isn't as great yet when it comes to 5 axis, simultaneous 5 axis. I'm not sure 3+2, but definitely not good enough for simultaneous 5 axis. And honestly, I mean, I'm no expert, but I don't think it's going to replace it completely. There's still going to have to be some human interaction. It will help a lot of shops, given that it's hard to find employees and it's hard to find good people, knowledgeable people. So it will definitely help the manufacturing industry, in my opinion.
It's going to have to because we're just losing so many people to retirement. Do you have any pushback from the current ownership of the software that you sell? Is from the Easy Shop floor user acquisition? Any problems with the software that they've come up with, or any issues? Too expensive? Just curious. Learning curve,
No,
fear of change.
no. Everybody who's bought currently, I did have about 50 shops trial it. Out of those 50, 10 purchased it. So I, it's a pretty good success rate in my opinion. And the only marketing that was used, it's a post on a forum, and that's it. So I think it's a pretty good, pretty good way. No, I mean every problem that anybody told me about was fixed to date. So for now, I don't have any feedback.
So they feel like it was worth it. They're glad they
Oh, yeah,
purchased.
for sure. I mean, to be honest with you, two people told me that it's too cheap.
Can I ask how much it is?
Sure, yes, it's public information on my website. Right now, it's 2,250 for a lifetime copy.
With all updates. That's nice.
Yes, yes, with every update, and it does increase. It will increase to 3,750 with the new update that's coming out. So this price was promotional for everybody who got into it in the beginning, and essentially it will cost 6,000, but it will be complete. It will be all updates included, everything, one-time license, and that's it. As of, for example, one competitor, I'm not going to say who, but I know that a competitor sells their ERP at approximately 8 to 9 thousand per year.
Yeah, I kind of have an idea who that is. Service and support are critical in Easy Shop floor. If it goes down or has issues, somebody's dead in the water, how do you handle support when you're also running a full-time CNC shop?
So support it. I'm always at my computer, either programming or doing something else within my shop. So it's very easy for me to respond and help in the meantime if anybody has any issues. And again, it's 10 shops, so it's not that many. I haven't had any issues. I haven't had anybody contact me about any issues really. Everything's running pretty smooth, I assume. So it doesn't take too much of my time. And again, the software is tested by my shop for the past 4 years. So I know that it works. I know that I'm not having issues, so nobody should. And if they are, it might be something on their end where, it's something wrong with their network, and I'm willing to help with that. I've helped one person, they had an issue with their network, and I helped them out. And as we grow, once the customer base grows and there are more customers, I might need to bring in help, which I
Yeah, I just assumed that. You mentioned that you're offering both cloud-based and server-based. What's
yeah.
driving the decision on those two for customers to choose?
Yeah, sorry. So that's kind of outdated information. We don't do cloud anymore. I dropped that just because of security concerns. Right now, every shop is CMMC compliant, and they trying to do all their cybersecurity. It's only standalone.
So it seems that the software is just kind of secondary. You're really focusing on the CNC part of the business. What's your vision for the next 5 years?
For the software, so for the next 5 years, there's going to be a marketplace development. And I mean, I can't get into detail a lot about it, but I'm working on a nice marketplace for all the manufacturers. It's going to be more like a directory listing, but it will be connected to the Easy Shop Flow ERP system. Many people will be able to share their information. And when buyers go into that directory to find a supplier, they will be able to see any information from the ERP of the shop if the shop is willing to share that information. So it's going to be sort of a unique directory listing for machine shops, and that's probably the next year.
Oh, it's pretty cool. The manufacturing industry is facing a perfect storm with tariffs, labor shortage, rapid technology changes, and of course, economic uncertainty. What advice would you give to other small business manufacturers and business owners trying to navigate 2025 and beyond?
Honestly, all I can say is just keep your customers happy and be good on communication, because one of the biggest issues, I guess, in any industry is communications with your customers and with any other people. People don't like when you don't respond to their emails. It's just not a good business practice, and it got me to where I am now.
For anybody who wants to learn more about Rocco Manufacturing CNC capabilities, or check out EasyFlow, or a potential partner with them on the software side, how do they find you, Roman, I mean, sorry.
Yes, no, that's okay. Our website is www.rocomfg.com. So you can go on our website. There's everything there. Our complete list of machines, and there's our contact emails. And if you send me an email, I will respond as quickly as I can.
Roman Bubin from Rocco Manufacturing, thank you for joining Production Pioneers. And to the listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe and leave us a review. Share the episode with somebody interested in manufacturing, innovation, and practical business solutions. Until next time, this is Kevin Durkin, CEO of Quant-Tek and your host of Production Pioneers. Keep on innovating, keep on growing, and keep on making a difference. Thank you.